Third set today.
Don't video those, so we don't want them to leave all that shit on.
Okay. Hi, I'm Brian. I love Subarus. I drive Subarus and I work on Subarus. I've been doing this for a while, and I've got a bunch of videos here on YouTube on how to repair your Subaru. Everybody knows that's had a Subaru for very long that they have an issue with head gaskets, and I get a lot of questions on head gaskets. This video is going to be a direct reply to a request somebody had about taking the cylinder head in to get machined. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over what to do with the cylinder head before you take it to a machine shop. And we're going to go over why you take it to a machine shop. So let's begin.
Okay, so the question is how do you want to bring a cylinder head into a machine shop? You can see this is just some heads that are done here. Some of these have had complete valve jobs on them. They're all waiting to get picked up. Some of them have just been ones that we've just clean checked and resurfaced. As a general rule, your machine shops will love you if you pull all the switches, brackets, and oil sensors off. It's really difficult as a shop to keep track of everybody's little parts like that. And when they get milled, especially stuff that you would see on the end of a head, all that needs to come off to be able to get milled, because I'm going to kind of put with my fingers, most of your mills will clamp right here at the bottom, and all this stuff is in the way. On these particular Subarus, they also have a bed plate, and when these were completely rebuilt, we did have to pull the bed plate off and we sealed it. And you may, on a Subaru, check with your machine shop if they want you to pull that bed plate off or on. But one of the difficult things on these Subarus is, you can see the sealant right here, is to get this bed plate to seal. And we found the only sealant that works is the sometimes they call it Fuji Bond, but it is the sealant right from Subaru. All the other ones we've tried, eventually they'll leak, and the product right from Subaru is really the one that works the best. Most of your engines will have a dowel pin that goes right here, and those have to be removed to be milled, and sometimes a customer will have a hard time getting the dowel pin out, and your machine shop will have a tool to pull that out. And in the event that a customer leaves those in, we don't mind. We'll pull them out, and then we'll put them in a brown sack.
I was just going to ask, is this bag lunch that comes with them, or what's in the bag?
Yeah, anything that they leave, we'll usually
as if I don't know. Kevin knows that I've left stuff on heads lots of times.
And we'll often just kind of put it in a brown bag, and that's the sack lunch that comes back with the cylinder.
So spark plugs, leave them or pull them?
Always pull the spark plugs.
Sensors?
Sensors, get rid of them.
Gotcha. And then as far as the bed plate goes, you'll tolerate leaving those on, but
we will tolerate them. I know some machine shops want them off because it's a lot faster to work around them, but we know the difficulty in sealing them. So for our customers, we want to seal those bed plates for you so you don't have any leaks. If you do have a leak, that's our fault, and then you know, and then we can warranty that and cover that for you. But when we seal them, we've never had them leak, so we're pretty proud of that.
So how busy are you guys?
You know, that's an interesting question, because we also do a lot of internet sales with parts on the internet, and something I often hear is my machine shop is slammed, and I think that's the general case you're going to find across the country. More and more machine shops, just because of the difficulty in operation and other logistics, and the general population getting older. Most of your guys that own machine shops are in their 60s, and they're kind of on their way out. So you see a lot of shops that are starting to, there's just no one.
They get behind, don't they?
They get behind, but there's not enough people going into the industry, and so there's less and less machine shops, and so most of the machine shops are really busy, and we're always you know, running full
so
speed.
It helps you guys if you don't have to stop and take out the spark plugs and do all that little stuff.
Yeah, it really speeds it up, and then you get your work back faster. So one of the interesting things in our shop here is if there's a lot of sensors and brackets, it'll sit over there, and our guys that are machining stuff will grab the ones that have the stuff, and so it's actually, they get put in the front of the line if you've got all that stuff.
It's like being a VIP at your local airline, or whoever your favorite airline is. If you have the credit card or whatever, you go to the front of the line.
That's right to the front of the line.
Tricks of the trade right there.
That's right.
Cool. So is this the bare minimum of what you have to have pulled off to get them decked?
Bare minimum, but see how I'm fighting that.
It's rocking back and forth because of a little warp in the bridge, or what?
Because these aren't a machine surface.
Right.
If you pull that off, that's a machine surface.
A lot of machine shops like want those towers taken off too. You know, the tower you have to seal the best place.
I just showed you.
Right.
It's a lot faster than like without those off.
To set it up.
Roger, you want to do like a 2-hour interview with this? I want to do a 3-hour.
But it has to be in the sun for good lighting.
Yeah, he's thinking about doing like a reality show. Want to show, yeah, want to do a documentary.
So the cylinder head sits on these 4 different arms that you see here. They got to get it perfectly level, and they've got to clamp it down. So the less you have on there, the better off you are. And you've got these assemblies and things that help to hold the camshaft, and while they're a pain in the neck to seal, it's easier to not take them off. If you do take them off, it's a lot easier for the machinist to be able to get a good flat job and to get a good clamp on it. So go down in here, you can see that these are bridges, and then you just have the clamps that turn down with these pointed Allen screws to just clamp the thing in. So this is a cylinder head that's very similar to the Subaru ones that I just happen to have on hand. It's very, very similar, but it's just a little bit smaller. This is from Polaris Razor 800, and it's ready to go to the machine shop, and then some. This one has the valves removed. You don't really have to remove the valves. You can just take it to the machine shop and they'll pop them out for you and do it. I'd recommend that if you don't have a device to manage the keepers and the valve springs and stuff. But basically what they want is they want it nice and flat across the top here, and that gives them a good machined surface. You see the difference between a cast surface has irregularities, it's got texture, it's got casting marks, and it's hard to get a good lay on it. When they put them in there, they put them upside down like this on a jig that's perfectly flat, perfectly straight, and then they anchor it in with bolts from each side, and then they send the mill over the top of it. So the big thing that you need to do is remember to take out the spark plugs, remember to take out everything on the end, your thermostat housing, water outlet, temperature gauge, coolant temperature sensor, all that kind of stuff from the end needs to be removed so that it can machine it. So why do you even machine them? What's the deal? Well, the reason why is that they're made out of aluminum. There are a bunch of different steel things that are inserted into it, like your valve guides. Those are steel. Your valves, these are the guides, these are the valve seats. Both of them are ferrous. And then you've got a bunch of other things in there, like you'll have little dowels or pins. Most machine shops have a special puller. You can see that this is a bigger hole and this is a bigger hole. There's a little round dowel that helps to hold the head gasket in place and help align the head with the block. So if you can't get those out, just make sure your machine shop knows. Basically, you don't want to have to babysit all the little loose pieces from all the different cylinder heads. If you want to get your head in faster, the best way to do it is to have everything stripped down and be ready to go. That'll make it more appealing for the guy that's running the lathe to want to grab yours and just run it through and, you know, make some progress. So here in my hand, what I have is a little piece of aluminum. I actually have two in case I messed one up. It actually came from some aluminum angle. You can see that it's not ferrous. Aluminum's interesting because it dissipates heat pretty uniformly. If you heat one part, it tends to have that heat distribute pretty evenly throughout it. but it also tends to warp or twist or change shape. So we're going to do a little demonstration on that. And while we do that, I want you to think about, this is a big chunk of aluminum and it's subject to do the same thing. It can warp or twist or change shape as well. After which point, when you go to put the head gasket between these two machine surfaces, if one's a little warped, then it can cause a failure in the near future. So that's why you want to machine it. So anyway, let's grab the torch, heat this up, and see what we get. So anyway, what you do when you take a cylinder head off, it's a lot of work and investment in a head gasket set. You want to have it be successful the first time. You don't want to have failure. So you check it with a straight edge this way, here, and did it. So basically an X across, and then here, here, and here. See, this one kind of rocks. This one was severely overheated. And then even though it's supposed to have a machine surface, it still rocks. And if you put it this way, it's got a bunch of debris in it, but you feel how bad that is. So you can do that on a plate of glass. Sometimes that's a quick, easy way to tell. Or you can use a straight edge. Anyway, let's get the torch. So here's our piece of aluminum. It's nice and flat and straight. It doesn't matter which way you put either one. When you put them together, they're nice and straight and flush, true, whatever. So the current temperature on this, do the laser and illuminate it. Here we go. So the temperature is about 55 degrees Fahrenheit. And let the heating begin. So operating engine temperature is about 220 degrees Fahrenheit. Usually like 210, 208, something like that. Thermostat's usually set to open at 185, 195, somewhere around there. It's around 200 degrees. So we're going to get this heated up till it's above that. We want to get it to like 300 degrees or something. Just going to soak it in heat until we've got 300. Got a little too hot right there. See it start to pull. And a cylinder head could do that. The mating surface, if you're to, there we go. See, as this gets hot, see how hot that is. So that's about 260, somewhere around there. This part here's just shy of 200. But without any cooling, it just kind of goes crazy. I mean, this is kind of flopping because of the way that it's supported. But that's what happens to your cylinder head, is it just kind of deforms. You can see right there where it got a little too hot. And that's what happens on any given cylinder head, and usually on the exhaust side, is that you'll find that you'll warp or fail on the exhaust valve. But you'll fail around here, or it'll just warp a little bit around there, or it'll crack or split in here. So before you take it to the machine shop, get everything off of the end of it. Try to get it stripped down to where it's just the machine surface on this side, so that they can get a good even lay for the lathe. And then I always check between the valves and the spark plug hole and just make sure that they're not cracked, because otherwise, you know, it may be a lot more repair or something. And then also check on your valve guides if you can. You can peek through here. Say you don't have the stuff to pull the valves out, you can at least look in here and see if they're sunk in or cracked or damaged or whatever. And then you can also check on this side, like that. Say that one's normal and this one is dropped. And that's one of the reasons why this engine was bad. So see how high that one is. So those are some things to check before you take it to the machine shop and what you need to take off. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, be sure to click like. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to click subscribe. If you learned anything new, or if you have something you'd like to share with everybody else, be sure to leave a comment below. Cheers.
way over to the left. You see that yellow airplane is on a pivot to the wind. So then it'll turn right and land. Turn right, kid. Turn right. Yeah. Airplane at 12 o'clock. I bet they're coming in. Good morning. Good.